Bang! Who? Yay! What is up, YouTube? We back with another video today. Today I want to pray to God. He allows me to get this message through the correct and right way. Guys, today we need to talk about why every black man wants to be rich and famous. And honest to God, growing up, I'm 21 now, I can kind of see majority of my friends and majority of black people I run into all have some type of dream of being rich and famous, whether they truly want to chase it and achieve it or whether it's just a dream. But it seems like the majority of black men do want this dream of being rich and famous. So let's break down why. Because if you look across other boards of races and ethnicities, not everybody has aspirations of dreams of being famous. A lot of people want to be teachers and are okay with having regular paying jobs. But why is it in the black community that only being rich and famous is the only thing that's going to allow you to be like special and feel fulfilled? Let's get to point number one. The only way a black man can feel important nowadays in this type of generation is to be rich and famous. And I know that's not a good thing to have, but at the end of the day, I'm just gonna explain why it is true. Because growing up as a black man, we understand that the regular black man who likes to pay his bills, work a 9 to 5 job, and handle all his responsibilities, he is not paraded around as much as a black man who is rich and famous. He will not get the same respect. And that's one thing that a lot of us black men have grown up seeing. We've seen the regular black man who wears the suit and tie, who handles all his responsibilities, and who does everything he's supposed to do, not get treated with respect and be looked at as like a loser or be looked at as somebody who's not worthy of admiration. So that's kind of programmed in our minds from a young age, that if you're not an NBA player, if you're not super rich, if you're not super well known, you don't matter as a black man. And that's kind of something that I wanted to touch on a little bit, because it's like a problem ingrown in the black community from a young age. And we need to understand that we are important regardless if we have riches or fame. But growing up, you're not going to be treated like that. Of course, anybody who has that type of status is going to be treated higher. But another reason also is, in general, as a black man, you're not going to be treated as important unless some status or acclaim is attached to your name. We've grown up seeing that as well, that people who are rich and famous, the black men in particularly, they're usually treated with like a red carpet rolled down to them, while as a regular black man will be treated way worse. He'll be treated, honestly, he could get called racial slurs. People will say he's nothing in this world. And we've kind of seen that growing up as black men. Well, only the rich and famous get that like pass, and it's almost as like you're not black anymore to the rest of the world when being rich and famous is attached to a black man. And that's something that needs to change, I believe. But let's get to number two. This is just obvious. Black men want to be rich and famous because they get more access to beautiful women. And that's honestly the truth. That's honestly where I can sit here and say a lot of black men have done that. And you see it a lot. Sometimes when NBA players or football players, once they get to that level and that status and that fame and they get that woman, bro, it's almost like they stop elevating and they stop excelling and striving for excellence, and they stop striving to be the best version of themselves. Why? Because they got the woman. The woman is, it is a lot of people's motivation. And honest to God, in the black community, we do tend to put a lot of focus on getting a high quality woman. And then once we get that woman, we start to forget about all our other goals and dreams. And honest to God, I was almost in that position myself. And I had to like understand that to get to the next level, I'm going to have to leave this woman behind. And that's usually how it is with every black man. To get to that next level, you're going to have to leave that woman behind, and then again, when you get to that next level, you're gonna have to find a new woman who is for you. But in the moment, we sometimes don't want to do that, because when you have that beautiful woman, you feel like everything's all right as a black man. But truth be told, we shouldn't be trying to get riches and status for just to try to obtain a beautiful woman. But in reality, that's the truth. It's like a biological thing. Of course, if there was no women on this planet, nobody would be trying to get rich and famous. like, I'm not gonna say nobody, but a small percentage of people would be trying to do it. Because, bro, the women, it's like the icing on the cake, bro. There's balance and harmony with it, but we can't make that our end goal. Once we get it, it can't just be, all right, everything's completed. It needs to be a side thing, a side dish, not the main dish, because the woman will always come as soon as you get to that level. But that level is not easy to achieve, and that's why sometimes we strive for that. When that woman is your fuel fire to get to there, you will get there, but you won't get past there. That's the thing that I see with a lot of rich and famous black men. That woman fueled them, they got there, but then that woman kept them content and they couldn't push forward to that next phase that they needed to. Let's get to number 3. This is just honest, and it comes from a young age of us not being appreciated. Black men want to be rich and famous because they just want to be looked at. It's self-explanatory, famous, being looked at, but I'm gonna break down like the true psychological behind it. And I've seen this with a lot of my older black friends before in my life, where they did a lot of stuff just to be looked at. They wanted to have nice clothes to be looked at. They wanted to be in the public eye to be looked at. And same with me and some of my life, bro. And it's not necessarily you want to be looked at because you have a message. Sometimes you just want to be looked at because you were never looked at in your life. And that happens to majority of black men. We are not, majority of us black men in our younger days were looked at either as criminals, we're looked at as either, oh, he's just an N-word, and we're looked down upon. We're not looked at in that like admiration where it's like, oh my God, I love him, I want to be like him. And a lot of us black males were chasing that through riches and fame, and it's not a good thing, because we want to think that, oh, if they look at us and they say they love us and they love our talent and they love what we do, we're gonna feel more fulfilled inside. But that can't come from that can't bring us our fulfillment in the black community anymore. That's what, honest to God, we just believe is going to fulfill us. People looking at us and saying, I love you, I love what you're doing. That can't fulfill us anymore. And honestly, now I'm about to get into personal experience. In my life, I've started to understand, but this came from listening to black people who didn't get that shit quick, who got that shit the long way. It's not gonna fulfill you when you're chasing after those fames, riches, and money. What's gonna fulfill you is your gift, working on your gift every day, and then all that acclaim comes. That's when it makes sense. When you're doing things specifically to gain that stuff, that is when, like, honestly, your life feels worse, and it feels like you did everything for nothing, and you succumb to all the temptations and desires because you were never fulfilled inside with your gift. That's why, as a black man, I want to listen to older black people who got their fame and riches the correct way, through their gift, through long years, through decades of work, because that's going to be the only way we're going to be able to feel fulfilled with this type of lifestyle, because that lifestyle will drown you as a black man. Females, money, all this external stuff, it will clog your brain and clog your mind, and before you know it, you're gonna self-destruct. That's why it's important to chase that gift, hone in on that gift. And that's why I like speaking like this. This is one of the gifts I have, being able to look at things from a smart perspective and influential perspective and be able to bring it out into the world. I've always been doing this since high school, since I was young in 5th grade. It's just like, I need to hone it. If I wanted to be rich and famous very quickly, I could have kept doing videos showing you guys fucking TikTok thoughts and girls half naked with their asses shaking, and just tried to get status that way. But now I understand that's not my gift. Anybody can do that. That's not a gift. That's a cop-out to try to get rich and famous because you think it's gonna fulfill you. That's why now I'm putting in the groundwork, the anchorage work of doing what my gift. And that's what I believe a lot of black people need to do. Find your gift and anchor yourself in it, and understand you're not gonna get rich and famous with it in a fucking year or 6 months. That shit's gonna take years of work. Then you're going to see the real results. People are gonna truly respect what you're doing. It's funny, when you're always showing a fucking naked girl or fucking devilish things, you always somehow get to the top faster, but it always comes down quicker. When you're doing your gift, It's like brick by brick by brick. And a lot of us black people need to go brick by brick to get to our riches and fame, not to try to do the cop out. But I love that video. And that was such an informational video. Wouldn't you guys agree? If you agree, leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. I love giving out this energy, and I plan so much for these videos, and it takes a lot to give this energy out. So I would appreciate you guys giving some energy back in return. Whether it's a like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out my other videos here, my other influential videos, guys. And if you haven't already, check the links in my description. We're gonna be back with another video. Bang.